What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full illegal Pokemon team. Man, I'm feeling a lot better than what I was a couple of days ago, and we're going to be right back into the videos. So I actually picked this team, scumbag me. So I grabbed 6 Pokemon that actually used, NPCs that actually used illegal Pokemon moves and movesets on their team. Now I'm going to give you some trivia about each Pokemon. The good thing is all these Pokemon can actually learn these moves legally now, so I was actually able to use all of them, which is really cool. If you do want to battle me, that's in the description of the video, and let's get into this one. So the first Pokemon, the first illegal Pokemon at the time was Muck. Now Muck actually, this is actually concerning Pokemon Coliseum. Now Muck in the Mount Battle area 10 singles, Krook's Muck actually had Shadow Ball. Now Shadow Ball actually, you couldn't actually get that until Gen 4 in Coliseum. So that was the first illegal move on Muck. And I made this into a special set. So I made this one as Max Health and Max Special Attack. I gave it Sludge Bomb, obviously Shadow Ball, because I wanted to include the illegal moves. I gave it Acid Spray, and I also gave it Fire Blast. So it was a pretty fun Muck to use. Sometimes I use Choice Specs on this Muck, sometimes I don't. I decided this time to use Acid Spray so I could drop the opponent's special defense and hit them for amazing lots of damage. So we have a 2-cannon lead. Well, 2 can play at that the game. Taking it out with the Sludge Bomb. Now, I was pretty lucky there. I didn't get critted by obviously the Z Tailwind earlier on, so I was quite happy about that. Now we've got the Amber Bomb coming in. There's not lots I can do to this apart just go for the Sludge Bomb. I know that I'm going to get outsped, and it's also going to have normal gem Fake Out, which is going to do a lot of damage to my Muck, almost taking me out. So there's actually no point me swapping out here at all. I'm on a low amount of health, and I've got no way to actually hit it at all, or just outsped any Pokemon. So I'm just going to let the Muck go down, and we all know that crit mattered. So not a bad start there. Basically an eye for an eye there, or a Muck for a bird. So swapping an Aerodactyl. Now, Aerodactyl, this was an interesting one. I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but in Gen 2, Lance's Aerodactyl actually had Rock Slide, and you actually couldn't get Rock Slide until Gen 3. So that was why I used Aerodactyl for. Now, since I actually made this a flinching Aerodactyl, I gave this one Max Health with an Assault Vest. I gave it Rock Slide, obviously Rock Slide being the move in question there. And I actually gave this Ice Fang, a Fire Fang as well for some extra flinching. So now we have the Amber Bomb using Beat Up. Now it has actually lost a Pokemon, so it's only going to hit me 5 times instead of 6, but it's still doing a fair amount of damage to my Aerodactyl. So going for another Rock Slide, he does not miss, and that's going to be enough to take out the Amber Bomb. So they were the 2 Pokemon, a Muck and the Aerodactyl so far. Now, Lance actually had a few cheated Pokemon, and I had to use more than one, but you can probably guess who that's going to be. So now we have the opposing Aerodactyl coming in, so since I wasn't running a max speed set, I know that I'm going to get outsped, and I'm actually going to have a special Aerodactyl, which is going to take me out with the Ancient Power. Thank goodness it doesn't get a boost there. That would have been really bad. My team wasn't exactly the fastest in the world. It actually was quite weak against opposing Aerodactyl. So swapping a Magneton, so another interesting Pokemon. So another Pokemon Coliseum entry here. So we have Chase's Magneton, right? Now Zap Cannon and Tri Attack, right? Respectively, they're learned at level 44 and 62 in Coliseum, right? So Zap Cannon and Tri Attack were actually used by this Magneton, but it was at level 40, so it actually had moves it was already using like way too early on. So that was why I chose Magneton. It actually got the combination of Zap Cannon and Tri Attack on Gen 5 onwards legally. So that was another interesting Pokemon to use, and Zap Cannon is a very fun move as well. So now we have Executor. Now this Executor was Bruno's Executor from Pokemon Stadium 2. Now this was the Ancient Power and Explosion combination. Both of these moves you can get singly, but you can't get them simultaneously. Remember, in Pokemon Stadium 2, obviously Ancient Power is the egg move, Explosion was a Gen 1 TMC, obviously you could not get them at the same time. This was possible, however, on Gen 3 onwards. So just giving you guys a little bit of trivia. Right, so we have the Azumarill coming in. It's going to Sap Sip my freaking C-Bomb. Of course, as soon as I seen it coming, I was like, it's probably going to have that, or it's going to have like an Ice-type move. So the best bet I can here is go for the Explosion. I gave this Max Health and Max Attack. I had the Ancient Power, obviously, and Explosion together. I had Seed Bomb as well, and I also had Trick Room on the set. So that was my best option, just to nuke the field and get rid of the opposing Pokemon, but it lived, unfortunately. So it's a very, very bulky Azumarill. I need a drink of water. Bubble Bum, that's a nice name. Right, I got to take out this Bubble Bomb, right? So swapping in my Magneton. So the best thing I do here is go for the Tri Attack and take this thing out. It's going to go for Scald, which is going to break my Sturdy. Now this was a max Speed, max Special Attack Magneton. I had Lock On, Zap Cannon, Tri Attack, and Magnet Rise with the Air Balloon in case the Air Balloon got broken, which most of the time it did. So the Azumarill is down, which is pretty good. So it's a fairly even battle at this point in the game. So I've still got 2 Pokemon remaining, 2 little interesting trivia things to tell you. So I've got to get rid of this Aerodactyl, right? So the Trick Room is up for one more turn of third. I've got to risk it. I've got to go for the Zap Cannon. There's nothing I can do. Thank goodness it lands, and that's going to be enough easily to take it out. Man, that would have done like 1,000,000% damage to it. So Aerodactyl is down. That's really good. That was a very, very threatening Pokemon on my team. I was actually very lucky that Zap Cannon actually landed then with its really poor accuracy. So now we have the Ampharos. There's not really much I can do to this thing either. Like, Tri-Attack is really my best option. So going for Tri-Attack, hoping I can get some hacks. Like a burn, a freeze would be really nice. Now it's going to be a physical Ampharos going for the power-up punch on my Magneton. This Magneton didn't have any bulk to it, like didn't have Everlight or anything. So it wasn't as tanky as probably a normal Magneton would be. So I'm going to go down to whatever hit the next turn, whether it be a Power-Up Punch or Thunder Punch. So the Magneton basically was on its last legs there, just going for another Tri-Attack. I actually get a burn, which is really good because the Ampharos is a physical user. So Power-Up Punch is not really going to matter too much. It's used at 2 of them, but I have halved its attack with the burn, so my Pokemon coming in are going to have a little bit of an easy time. So I thought this would be a prime opportunity to send in my next Pokemon, which is my Moltres. Now, Moltres is quite an interesting set too, probably the favorite set on my team. Now, Moltres, in Black and White 2, the legendary rotation battle from PWT, ends Moltres actually uses Leer. Now, Leer is actually impossible on Moltres, and you can only be learned from Gen 1. Obviously, it can't go to Gen 1 to Gen 5 and didn't exist then. So, Leer, I know, out of all the moves. So I come up with the strategy, Normalium Z Leer, which actually boosts your attack 1 stage and drops the opponent's defense 1 stage. Just the normal ability of Leer. So I've dropped the defense by the Ampharos by 1 stage. I've got +1 attack, but I thought that's probably not going to be enough to actually take this thing out. So I'm going for another Leer. I know, using Leer in Pokemon Battle, it's amazing. So dropping the speed of the Ampharos. Now on this set, I've got the best physical move it can use is Aerial Ace and Flame Charge. So that was, yeah, that was about it for this set. And I also gave it Steel Wing, so I could hit Rock types too. So this is a Rest, Sleep Talk Ampharos. Unfortunately, there for me, it's going to go to sleep. Now, as soon as I seen Power Up Punch, I thought, well, I know this thing's definitely going to have Thunder Punch, and if I get hit by a Thunder Punch, it's good night. So almost taking it out there with the Flame Charge. Unfortunately for me, I actually get Static. I do have a couple of boosts in speed from Flame Charge, but I know that's not going to be enough to outspeed the other Pokemon remaining. So Ampharos going for another yet Sleep Talk Rest, and it actually gets Power Up Punch. Better than me, I would have got Rest like twice in a row. So unfortunately for the Ampharos, it's not going to be able to get a Thunder Punch. It needed that to actually take out my Moltres. Right, so now I can freely go for another Flame Charge to take out the Ampharos, and that's going to be a good night for that. So that was really good. Probably my favorite set. I'd have to say the physical sweeping Moltres was the favorite set on my team. I may even try and get a sweep with it. It's very hard though, because even with +1 in attack, right, it doesn't hit very hard at all. So the last Pokemon is the Yarn Mega. It's going to go for Aerial Ace itself against my Moltres. It's a physical set, which is cool. That's not going to be enough to take me out. I'm actually going to get the Flame Body against that. And I actually went for Aerial Ace myself. I nearly said something else in. And that's going to be enough to take out the Yarn Mega in 1 shot. Hope you guys enjoyed this first battle, and let's get on to the next one. Man, that Moltres was crazy. Okay, so the last Pokemon I actually didn't get to have a little spiel for, but I will in this battle. Right, so next battle we've got I believe I let off of the Muck most of the time because it worked, you know, fairly well at just adapting to everything. So we have a Quagsire lead. Unfortunately, this, as I said that, probably not the greatest matchup in the world. So I can't really do too much apart from go for the Acid Spray and try and drop this thing's special defense. And then I thought I can go for the Shadow Ball to, you know, make use of that hack move, right? So anyway, the special defense of the Quagsire is going to drop. Now we have the Quagsire going for a Z move. Now this is going to be the Waterium Z Rain Dance, which is going to boost the speed of the Quagsire, and it's also going to make the obviously rain on the field, which is going to boost its water type moves. Obviously, it's got some sort of like water type move, Scald, a Waterfall. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a special or physical user was yet to be determined. Now, I can go for a Shadow Ball against this thing. Obviously, it's going to outspeed me because it's got a +1, and Muck isn't exactly what you call the fastest Pokemon in the world. Going for the Shadow Ball on the Quagsire does pretty good damage. I was happy with that. One more is going to be enough to take it out. I thought I may live another Waterfall really badly, but the Quagsire is going to go for the Earthquake, and there's no way I'm going to live that one. So poor Muck is going to go down, but that's all good. Okay, so now I can bring anything else in to try and like revenge kill this thing. So I thought I could bring in Magneton because I do have the Air Balloon, and I can go for the Tri-Attack and finish this thing off, right? Anyway, so I went for the Tri-Attack with max speed. I actually outsped this. I actually didn't think I outspeed it, and the Quagsire is going to go down. So that's good. A nice solid start there. Well, for both of us, one Pokemon down. So now we have the Ninetales coming in, the Alola Ninetales, which is quite interesting swapping. Because I could have quite easily had a Steel-type move here. So like, I wonder what this is going to do. So I went for the Lock-On to lock on that Zap Cannon. Now we're going to have a physical Alola Ninetales. It does about it's about a 4-hit KO with Aqua Tail. That would have been quite nice though if it didn't have the hail on the field. It could have got the boost from the rain from the Quagsire. That would have worked out fairly well. Anyway, so getting buffeted by the hail, so it's probably going to turn into about a 3-hit KO. The Alola Ninetales can now go for another Aqua Tail. I'm going to go for the Zap Cannon. Man, I love Zap Cannon. It's such like a brutal move. Now, obviously, if you didn't know, Zap Cannon, if it lands, it always paralyzes the opponent. So now, that almost takes out the Alola Ninetales. Since it has very nice base special defense, that was enough. That was the reason enough for it to live. And I'm going to finish it off with the Tri-Attack. So, nice to see a physical Alola Ninetales. It's terrible, like, physical move pool is a very challenging thing to use. Speaking of terrible physical move pools, so we got Alakazam coming. It's like, oh, I wonder what this set is. And then I see Drain Punch. I'm like, my boy, my physical Alakazam. Man, this thing, I've used this myself. I use like a Power Up Punch, Psych Up, Drain Punch set, and Knockoff was crazy. Anyway, so my Magneton is down. Now, I explained Magneton. Yeah, I explained Magneton much. So now we have Moltres coming in. I thought, well, let's see if we can get this one going. So this has, obviously instead of Knockoff, it's got Thunder Punch. So that does about half my health. The hail is actually going to hit me, but it's actually going to finish the next turn, so that timed in really well. So going for the Normalium Z Leer again, that's going to give me a +1 in attack and drop the opponent's defense. So I guess Normalium Z actually isn't too bad. It's quite a fun move to use. You guys have got to try it. Just do it. They won't know I hit them. So anyway, going for the Flame Charge here, or the Aero Ace. Flame Charge is nice for speed. Aero Ace is a little bit more powerful. It's got Psycho Cut for stab. That's not quite enough to take me out. I went for the Flame Charge here. Since I got a +1, or basically equivalent to a +2, Alakazam is going to go down to the Flame Charge. So that's it's a very difficult Pokemon to use physical Alakazam. I've done it myself. It's difficult. So now we have Licky. There's absolutely possibly nothing I can do to take this out in one shot. So the best thing I can do is go for the Aero Ace. I guess it does pretty good damage, and now the Licky is going to take me out with the Zen Headbutt, which is cool. I get the Flame Body, so if it's a fully physical set, that's going to help me out a lot. So Moltres is down. Okay, so I thought I could bring in the Executor and maybe go for an Explosion, try and take this thing out, or set the Trick Room up. I was thinking what I should do. I could do like multiple things here. So swapping that in. Now I was wondering what other moves actually would have to me. Maybe it's got Explosion itself, but I had Stomp instead. So Stomp is actually going to have a chance of flinching me, which it does. So I don't really want to get flinched for like the next turn in like 10 turns in a row. So I'm going to go for the Explosion. I've got normal gem on this as well. So I thought that'd be my best option. So now it's going to go for a Stomp again. Man, this would have been really annoying if it wasn't Burn. If that was Burn, they'd be doing twice the amount of damage and flinching too. Fortunately, I get past the flinch. I'm able to go for the Explosion. I've got the normal gem. It's already taken some prior damage, and that's Licky down, and my Executor as well. So I was glad to have Explosion on Executor. Ancient Power was sort of there to maybe boost my attack and then go for Explosion, or boost the power of Seed-Bomb on. So now we have the Noctowl coming in. And now I've got my Dragonite. So this was the last Pokemon, obviously. Now, interestingly, in Gen 1, Lance used a Barrier Dragonite. Now, this actually got released as an event, like a Dragonite with Barrier. So I thought this would be really cool, perfect Pokemon to use. So that's why I used Dragonite. Anyway, swapping in Aerodactyl, there's not much I can really do here. So I just went for the, other than go for a Rock Slide or an Ice Fang. Went for the Ice Fang, and misses. Now the Noctowl's going to go for a Hyper Voice. I'm like, oh, that's kind of sucks. So it's about a 3-hit KO. I'm guessing it's maybe like Specs or something like that. I'm not too sure. That's probably what I'd run on. So going for the Rock Slide, that's going to be super effective. And Stab, and that's going to be enough to take out the Noctowl. in one shot there, which was nice. I don't think that critical hit mattered unless it was like a max health, max defense set, which I definitely don't think it was, judging on the damage. So the last set, the last Pokemon is the I'm going to try and say that name. Anyways, it's going to hit me by Surf, and there's no way Aerodactyl's going to be able to live that one. I think it was like a lizard or something like that. So the last Pokemon I've got is my Dragonite. Now this Dragonite set is a variant of one of my other sets and works rather nicely too. So unfortunately I was thinking, well, this may not be a physical attacking set. It's probably going to have all special type moves, but in the off chance it does, I might be able to use it. So it's going to hit me with Thunderbolt. It really doesn't do too much. I'm running a max health, max special defense set. Now on this set I've got Toxic, I've got Barrier obviously, so that works nicely with the max special defense, and I'm very bulky with Leftovers as the item. I've also got Sky Drops. The idea is to poison the opponent, and then grab them into the sky and then do some damage to them and sort of just like rack up that toxic damage. The last move I got on here is Roost as well, so that works really, really nicely. But I thought this was a really fun to do, team to do. It was sort of like gave you guys some trivia as well as the Pokemon battle. So now I've actually been looking out for like some other theme team ideas like this. So if you guys have got any really cool regional interesting theme team ideas, please leave them below. I'd really love to see them. Anyway, so I've got this battle with this lizard. I'm just hoping I don't get critted. That's about the only thing I was worried about. I needed to survive 2 more hits. So I thought I might as well set up barriers just in case it does have like a physical move, like a hidden physical move. But I was thinking it was max special attack, judging on the damage there. Yeah, but Barrier Dragonite worked out really well in all the battles that I did. It was very, very tanky. I guess sort of the weakness to this set was like a Toxic user or something like that. That was, even if I got all like the barriers up, that would be probably about it for the Dragonite. It would get worn down by Toxic. But apart from, or just really strong special attacking moves, like an ice moves and stuff, were about the only things that got around it most of the time. Okay, so anyway, I'm going for another Barrier. There wasn't much I could really do here. Just wait out the Toxic, and the Lizard is going to go down. But that's about it for this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed both of these. I've got another battle at the end too, and I'll be back tomorrow with some more videos. Should have used Stealth Rock Skarmory.